So welcome to you all, and thank you very much for joining us for the launch of the Remember to Remember song and DVD. We are Kate and Sarah from With Music in Mind, and we were honoured to be asked by David for our groups, as well as pupils from Cowbridge Comprehensive, to learn and to record this song. It was a delightful project, and many of the members got involved. Before we play the video, we'd very much like to invite a few people to talk about what their involvement in the project was and what it means for them or to their organisation. So firstly, over to David Parsons, who wrote the song. Thank you, David.
Okay, well, thanks, and thanks to everybody here who's contributed, and I particularly I can see Rian there. Hello, Rian, who did a fantastic job with the choir in the school. And unfortunately, Lenice is not here, who did an unbelievably good job on the production of what I think is a very good recording. So, and of course, thanks to everybody else. But those people in particular, I really need to thank very much. Okay, well, the idea of the song really sprang from a moment when I made an accountant cry. Now, that's not unusual for me. I can make accountants cry quite easily and often, but we were just got involved as Rotary with the Dementia Friendly Town initiative, and Steve, who is a bundle of energy. Is that the right way to describe him? Yes, a bundle of energy, buzzing with ideas, and eventually I managed to sound him out about a few and said I'd written this song in honour of my mother, who suffered or lived with dementia, and he came round to the house. I played him the song, and he cried like a baby. The moral of that is don't give accountants drink during the day. I think that's. But the song was really because my mother, in dementia, was somebody who had always loved music, and she always used to say she was born in a very poor house in Rome. Then I wrote in the First World War, and her mother was blind and deaf, and her father had been blinded as a result of the First World War. So they were really quite poor. But my mother always used to say we were poor, but we were so rich because of music. And she never kept saying that music enriched people. She said it was our bread when we didn't have any bread. It was our soup when we didn't have any soup. What a wonderful idea. And it didn't come as any surprise to me. In her dementia, the only thing that could reach her was music. And so when I came to think about a dementia-friendly town, I thought I'd like to write a song for my mother. And I approached Steve with the song, made him cry. And then I think after he stopped crying, I think he then suggested I get in touch with Music in Mind. I think that was right, Steve, wasn't it? Yep. Yes, yeah. And so then I invited Sarah over, and I made Sarah cry, which I didn't like doing, but and so then it all started off, and we pulled in people together. I did a demo with Lenice and gave you the demo, and the rest, as they say, is history.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much, David. That gives us a lovely background to why the song was written. And now let's hear from one of our With Music in Mind members, Helen Wymant, and David's there as well. And these guys were involved in singing in the project.
Good afternoon. You don't have to be a great singer to enjoy singing, or to be moved by a special piece of music. My husband is living with Lewy body dementia, and over the progression of his illness, we have rediscovered the joy and the power of music. We are both members of Music in Mind in Cowbridge, and With Music in Mind has given us many opportunities, including taking part in this recording this meaningful song to us. The first time I heard the words, I cried. It reminded me that we are still able to connect with each other through music, even though dementia is devastating our lives. When verbal communication fails, music finds a way to connect with others and engage with memories and emotions. Music has the amazing ability to bring people closer in a community. Taking part in this recording made us feel connected to other people. It made us feel worthy and able to join in with others in a group. And it encouraged us to sing, knowing that a moment of love and connection produces joy in the soul that remains with you forever.
Oh, absolutely lovely. Thank you so much, Helen. Those obviously were words from the heart, and it is so lovely to hear what you've had to say. So thank you so much for doing that for us.
Steve.
And let's move on to hear from Rhian about the involvement of the pupils of Cowbridge Comprehensive School.
Well, thank you very much. I thought I'd start with one of my favourite quotes, really, from Hans Christian Andersen, where words fail, music speaks. With all the changes and challenges that have taken place globally during the last few months, I think many people have found it difficult to know how to put their feelings and thoughts into words. But music is always there as a source of comfort, entertainment, relaxation, healing, identity, to name a few. Research has also added weight to this quote, proving music to be a powerful rehabilitation for people suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's. This is why I was so excited when David contacted me about a joint project with Music in Mind and our students in Cowbridge in aid of Dementia Friendly Group. After my initial meeting with David, I worked with our sixth formers in Cowbridge for a number of weeks, where they really relished the challenge of learning a new song and adding their own harmonies. The heartwarming lyrics also prompted a really thought-provoking discussion amongst the students, many of whom had relatives suffering from dementia, and others who were only just learning what dementia really is. The more the pupils sang the song, the more they grew to love it. And I think that the lyrics have really resonated and stayed with them since the recording in November. The pupils thoroughly enjoyed the recording process. They found it so interesting to see how the professional recordings work. And they were so excited when they saw our music classroom being transformed into a full-blown recording studio right before their eyes. So I would like to thank Linise very much for helping to make the students feel totally at ease, and David for his encouragement and honesty in telling the students about the inspiration for the song. Finally, in a time which many have found challenging, I think over the last few months, this song shows how music and the arts can be so hugely beneficial in so many ways, for improving well-being, boosting creativity, for making memories with friends, which is what the students did, and for expressing that which can only be expressed through music itself. The experience of participating in this project is one which our Cowbridge pupils will always remember, and is a reminder to us all that music and the arts are so important and they really must be protected for our future generations. Thank you, David, for addressing a subject so close to so many people's hearts and for allowing us to be part of something so positive. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rhian, and how lovely to know what a positive experience that the pupils have had, and they've obviously learned a lot from being part of this project, so that's really great to know. Thank you. And now we'll move on to Stephen and Liz from Dementia Friendly Cowbridge.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm humbled of being allowed to join this official launch, going back probably almost 2 years ago, certainly a good 18 months. I thought this is something pretty ambitious and perhaps too ambitious. How the heck can we make something work? I've known David for quite a while. I know he's an inspired, creative musician. Seriously, he really is. Thank you, David. Sarah and Kate, with Music in Mind, your enthusiasm and focus on community gives me goosepimples. Thank you very much. Cowbridge Comp, well, apart from being the best school in Wales, the pupils who are so busy, You always ask a busy person, you ask them for something, they want to get involved at all different levels. And we keep finding new ways of connecting with the school and the school connecting with community. Thank you very much, Rian, on behalf of the school. David did play me his Remember song with about 18 months ago or something, David, feels like, in his front room. And I was shocked at how good he was, actually, because, you know, to actually just do it all by yourself. Steve, come and listen to this. And I thought, crumbs, this guy is serious, you know. So apart from being a good musician, the words are somewhat of a knockout. Not quite Robert Frost stuff, but perhaps even better because it's more personal. Thank you very much, David. And then, of course, my thoughts immediately moved to my mum. My mum's favourite group was the Glasgow Orpheus Choir. I was brought up on that when I was little. All in the April Evening was her most favourite song, and I can still hear it now. We used to go singing every time we were in the car. She would burst into song, into tune. She had a beautiful voice. So it almost brings a tear, actually. But your song really made me think fondly of those moments. But I should say this on behalf of Dementia Friendly Cowbridge. We're delighted to lend our support in any way. In some ways, we sort of do nothing. What we try to do is help with the gluing of the community together, try and help make things happen. Arguably, all of these things could have happened, but perhaps we can add a little bit of weight to make sure they do, and to help communicate. This Remember song, it works on so many levels, especially for people who are beginning to find the day-to-day stuff just a little cloudy, I like to think, because I don't necessarily think this is a switch on and off when talking about people living with dementia. It starts often, Professor Bayer says, often 30 years before. Many of us have got types of cloudiness in our minds, and if music helps us, that's absolutely great. But the most important thing I think about this project is it's flaming well fun. It's just great. David, everyone, thank you very much on behalf of Dementia Friendly Cowbridge, me and my mum.
Thank you very much. To hear, and a positive, very positive. And oh, everyone's frozen. Oh, they're back. Sorry, everyone just froze there for a second. It's probably my internet. Very much, Stephen. That was wonderful. Really lovely to hear. And finally, we'll move over to Peter from Cowbridge Rotary to say a few words about how the song ends.
First of all, thank you very much for the invitation to have been invited to speak on behalf of the Cowbridge Rotary Club. I think both David and Stephen have given an insight into Rotary involvement, which has really been through its support for Dementia Friendly Cowbridge. And we were pleased, in line with our support for other community projects, to make just a small contribution towards the production costs. We're delighted that the project has been such a success, and we congratulate all those who've worked so very hard to make it so. We look forward to supporting Music in Mind again in the future, and indeed other similar projects in support of those people living with dementia. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much to everybody who has spoken today. And without any further ado, I think it might be time to play the video. But please bear with me while I fiddle with the whole share screen malarkey.
Could I say something as you're fiddling? Just to say that the CD is out, of course. Not, well, out, but we've got copies. But even as I speak, people all over the world are buying this because it's on YouTube Music, Sync, Deezer, Google Play, Napster, Spotify, Amazon, practically every download site worth it. So it's widely available. So there's no excuse for people in the middle of nowhere, like Newport, to buy it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's out.
Can I ask David? David, let me interrupt. How will we find it on Spotify or something? What's it called? Remember Song? What's it called?
if you just put in most probably David Parsons, Remember to Remember, but also with Music in Mind have an identifier now on these sites, and also so does Cowbridge Comprehensive. So if you put Cowbridge Comprehensive with Remember to Remember, it'll come up. If you put with Music in Mind, Remember to Remember, it'll come up on all these sites.
Great.
Spotify. Okay.
Thank you very much. That's great. I'm now going to do the share screen thing. So bear with me.
We were approached by a local man, David Parsons, who wrote a song for his mother. She was living with dementia, and it's a song all about the power of music to bring out memories. He asked us, with Music in Mind, whether we wanted to record the song, and we absolutely jumped at the chance. It's just a great opportunity for the guys to come together and meet up with each other and to produce such a powerful song.
Don't forget to remember, if one day I can't recall the good times we shared together, I may not remember at all. Please remember to remember, if my memory should...
The reason why I'm here today is hopefully to promote awareness of Alzheimer's. And the music is absolutely wonderful, and I'm sure it's gonna hit many people's hearts.
Songs will open my heart here. Music will be the key. Your voice will open my heart, dear, and set all my memories free. And set all my memories free. Sing the songs of our childhood and those records we used to play. Sing the songs that made us happy and took us to a bright...
I think it's a really worthwhile project for bringing people together, and to also to impress upon them that if you have somebody that you know who's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it isn't a really unhappy time. It can be quite happy. And of course, as we all know, music is the key to happiness.
Then we will walk again in the sunlight. We will swim in clear blue seas, and the melodies we have loved so will shine on hidden memories, and we will dance once more in the moonlight, feel the soft summer's breeze, and the music of a lifetime will free those precious memories.
That's where the idea for the song came from, because it seems to me we lock things in our hearts. Sometimes all the painful things we lock in our hearts, but we also lock the good things in. And nothing will release that better than a song.
Don't forget to remember that music can bring us so near. If the day comes when I need you to hold my hand and help me find the good times I can remember, just keep the power of music in mind. Just keep the power of music in mind. Songs will open my heart here. Music will be the key. Your voice will open my heart dear, and set all my memories free. Free, free, free.
words of this song means everything. Oh, I know so many people that it's wonderful.
So there we are. I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm gonna, because we've only got 5 minutes left of the meeting, I'm gonna rush on with the thank yous, and then hopefully we will have a free extension, you never know. So we'd like to thank our funders, who included the Morgan Voluntary Services Health Fund, Manchester Foundation and Cambridge Rotary, as well as the National Lottery Community Fund, who fund With Music in Mind singing and social groups. Without the generosity of funders like these, we wouldn't be able to run projects like this. We're very grateful for them indeed. We'd also like to thank Lennis Esprit for his hours of work on the wonderful production of the song, Sam and David from Q Productions, who worked tirelessly to produce the video that you've just watched. Sam sends his apologies for this launch. He told me it was great to work with everyone on this project, and so nice that everyone has this now to listen and watch whenever they wish. And Al Stewart for his beautiful artwork on the cover and inset. Of course, what we do with the singers and the musicians. Enormous thank you to all the musicians, the singers from With Music in Mind groups and Cowbridge Comprehensive School. I think you can all be very proud of yourself. And also thank you to all the With Music in Mind staff and volunteers. Finally, if you want to buy the CD, actual physical copy, and the DVD, they cost £4, and you can email With Music in Mind on info@withmusicinmind. But as like David said, it's available on any platform that you usually buy your music from. If you want to just find an easy link to that, it's on our website now. So if you go to With Music in Mind website, you'll be able to find out how to get the music from there. And so thank you all again for joining our virtual launch. We hope you enjoyed yourselves, despite not having any champagne, but I'm not stopping you from having it at your house or at school. And best wishes to you all, and please remember, stay safe, and we'll be running again as soon as we're allowed to. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.